First of all, I would like to thank the organizer, the India Foundation and Nalanda University for giving me the opportunity to participate in this conference, which is very much related to Southeast Asia, especially Thailand, because I won't speak stressing on more on the philosophical point of view, but I mean straight more on the cultural relation between India and Southeast Asia, especially Thailand. My paper will be Nirvana in the context of early Thailand. So according to the tradition, the Thai Pali scholar believed that King Ashoka sent two Thera, namely Sona and Uttara, to the Suvarnabhumi, which is located somewhere in Southeast Asia. And this is according to the text called Mahavamsa, composed in Sri Lanka in 6th century. But according to the early epigraphic evidence, we have only the inscription in Pali and Sanskrit dated back only to 5th century CE. Most of the inscription in Pali regarding the Buddhism found in the central part of Thailand, the inscription in Pali and Sanskrit was found in southern Thailand, and its contents of the inscription is more related to the early teaching of the Buddha. And it doesn't mention specifically about Nibbana, but the content is in Nibbana, because this is the final ultimate reality that the Buddhists should try to attain. Nibbana is one of the names given to the Dhamma, attained by the Buddha at the foot of the tree of knowledge on the bank of Nirvana river, at present Bodh Gaya, Bihar state. What Nirvana is can be seen from the thought arose in the Buddha's mind when he was at the foot of Ajapala banyan tree. Thus, the Dhamma attained by the Buddha with difficulty is profound, difficult to perceive and understand, which bring quietude of heart, which exalted, which is unattainable by reasoning, abstruse, intelligible only to the wise. Those who were given to desire, intent upon desire, delighting in desire, the law of causality and the chain of causation would be a matter difficult to understand. More difficult for those people to understand would be also the extinction of all sankhara, the getting rid of all these substrata of existence, the destruction of desire, the absence of passion, quietude of heart, and nirvana. This is the thought arose after his enlightenment. And he was reluctant to preach his doctrine because it's too difficult to understand by common people. But Sahampati Brahma had to intervene and requested him not to do so, as there were some men who may be able to understand his teaching. The Buddha then yielded to the Brahma entreaty. The truth which is attained by the Buddha or Siddhartha at the foot of the tree of knowledge by which he became the Buddha, the enlightened one, is known in Pali as Paticcasamuppada and in Sanskrit as Paticcasamuppada, the causal chain of causation. After enlightenment, the Buddha sat cross-legged for 7 days, enjoying the happiness of deliverance. For the whole night of the 7th day, he reflected on the Paticcasamuppada indirect and in reverse order. Thus, from ignorance springs sankhara, from sankhara spring consciousness, from consciousness spring name and form, and last, from existence spring birth, from birth spring old age and death, grief, lamentation, suffering, dejection, and despair. Such is the origination of this whole mass of suffering. Again, in reverse order, by destruction of ignorance, which consists in complete absence of lust, the sankhara are destroyed. By destruction of sankharas, consciousness is destroyed. By destruction of consciousness, name and form destroy, and so on. And last, the dukkha or suffering also destroy when we destroy the jati. After reflection on the Paticcasamuppada, the Buddha came to the conclusion by way of 3 joyous attributes into 3 stages. Thus, if a wise man concentrates strenuously he will see firstly that on Dhamma or the phenomena have the causes of their existence. Secondly, that the causes which condition the existence also come into an end. Thirdly, that eventually the wise man will stand triumphantly destroying Mara army, like the sun diffusing light in the sky. This Paticcasamuppada was first found written in a copper plate of Quram, found in Pakistan. It means in 19 CE. That means the teaching of Samutpada was recorded in letter as old as 99 CE. The Udana or the joyous utterance of the Buddha mentioned above was also found in inscription written in Pali in Brahmi script of Pallawas period, discovered in central part of Thailand also, very early in 5th century. The doctrine of Paticcasamuppada and Udana is summed up in the following widely known Pali word: Ye Dhamma Hetupapava, Te Sang Hetung Tathagato, Te Sanjayo Nirodho, Evam Vadi Mahasamano. The Tathagata spoke about the cause of Dhamma phenomena, which appear through some causes, and also about the cause which bring about the cessation of those Dhamma. The great ascetic, that means the Buddha, always teaches such doctrine. The verse was said by Venerable Assaji, one of the first 5 disciples of the Buddha, when asked by a wandering ascetic named Sariputta to give the summary of the Buddha teaching. Having heard this verse, Sariputta realized the truth, first state of the spiritual truth. Surprisingly, a large number of the inscriptions beginning with Ye Dhamma that date to the 6th century, 5th century were found severally in several places in the central part of Thailand. There are also a number of inscriptions in Sanskrit words beginning with Ye Dharma in Sanskrit, were also found in southern part of Thailand as well as in the Malaysia, in Malaysia or Malay Peninsula, almost in the same period, 5th century CE. The Thai counterpart of the Ye Dhamma in Sanskrit also were found in the southern part of Thailand. The Sanskrit words beginning with Ye Dhamma in Sanskrit appear in Mahavastu Avadana, the text in Sanskrit of Lokotravadin school of Buddhism, which is one of the Buddhist Theravadin school that use Sanskrit. The verse was said to have the verse was said to his friend Mogdgalana by Sariputta, who had realized the truth after having listened to the short discourse from Venerable Upasena, one of the disciples of the Buddha. So the account in the Mahavastu and the account in the Vinaya Pitaka in Pali is somewhat different. After having decided to preach his doctrine, the Buddha proceeded to Isipatana, the deer park, near Varanasi, where his former 5 disciples resided. He delivered to them the first sermon called Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta. I think I won't repeat because the Venerable who spoke before me has spoke about it already. It is also interesting to note that the text of the Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta is found inscribed on a fragment of a stone pillar supporting the wheel of the law, discovered also in the central part of Thailand. It belonged to the 5th century CE, only part of the Dhammacakka because the stone was broken. And another stone inscription bearing the part of the text also found on 2 fragments of a Dhammacakka, also found in the central part of Thailand. Epigraphic evidence shows that the early Buddhism in Thailand especially attached more importance to the early teaching of the Buddha. And it seems that the Buddhist monk preachers follow intention of Emperor Ashoka, which is expressed in his inscription known as the Kolkata Bairat rock inscription, in which practice according to Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta and the Upatisapanha, that means Ye Dhamma, was encouraged by the emperor. So I come to the conclusion. The main aim of the doctrine expounded by the Buddha in the Paticcasamuppada, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta and the Udana is the destruction of suffering through the attainment of true knowledge, which is known in Pali as Vijja, as Jnana, as Panya, as Dhammachakshu, as Chakshu and Aloka. The Buddha propounded the Paticcasamuppada, the causal chain of causation, which in the end leads to suffering. In order to get rid of the suffering, one must stop the chain of causation, beginning with stopping raga, passion or attachment completely, which is conditioned by avijja. The Buddha, however, gave only the theory, but did not give the means to get rid of the chain of causation. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he pointed out that the middle way to put an end to suffering, that is the eightfold path, middle eightfold path, which also spoke by the Venerable who spoke before me, so I won't talk about that. By combination of the Paticcasamuppada with the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha successfully made people understand the truth he had attained at the foot of the Bodhi tree. During the period ranging from 5th to 8th century, the people who inhabited central part of Thailand must have followed early Buddhism propagated by the monks of Theravada school that used Pali in their scripture, whereas the people who inhabited southern Thailand and Malay Peninsula must have followed early Buddhism propagated by monks of Sarasvativadin school, a section of Theravadin school that used Sanskrit in their scripture. Thank you very much.